That was quick. That was quick. We are live. Views from the 22, brought to you by the scene. We got a little Tuesday show for y'all today. Hopefully, we'll get more of these done. So we were slightly in the lab, but we've been in the lab all day. We did some little basketball, little football, little football, which we're gonna come back to you a little later at around 9 p.m. Eastern with the Stoppage Time FC crew. You'll see me there. You might even see Germ So True there. But for now, we're gonna stick to the other 22, the American 22, the football. We want to come at you today with some quarterback talk. That's Germ So True, as you can see, and that shirt he's got on is a tone setter for a lot of things. How you feeling, So True?
Hey man, I'm here, man. Let's talk about this, man, because we've been, like I said, we've been in the lab. We've been looking at some things today. It's a lot. It's a lot to digest, man. A lot to dissect. So, let's go.
So obviously, if you've been tuning in, you know that we got one head of the Views crew missing, but he is running on a bit of a delay. He may not make it. We hope he can make it, but with the anticipation that he's gonna make it, we're gonna leave some of the other topics for a little later. So instead, we're gonna call an audible, and we're gonna start with Cam Newton. Um, Cam has been a polarizing quarterback in this league, really from day one. We know about his history in Carolina, but really coming into this offseason, coming into this season rather, with the Patriots, there was a lot of conversation. And one of the things that we talked about especially was you can't run that EP offense with Cam Newton. One, the way the EP was intended and the way New England ran the EP with under Tom Brady, especially the last like 11 years, 9 years there, it has evolved way much more than what it was with Charlie Weiss and the Giants back in the 80s. They never envisioned it could be this complex and this sophisticated. And that's all because of Brady and McDaniels and Bill O'Brien and Charlie Weiss as well, but mainly Brady. Notice I didn't even mention Belichick in this. And that's only because Belichick himself admitted once, there's times I don't have to check at all on the offense because I know Brady got it. But now with Cam, we see these first 2 weeks, they're changing a lot. They're doing a lot of similar stuff that they did with Carolina, with Belichick's and McDaniel's own unique style, own unique identity, with the plug-in, with the blocking schemes and the timing of the calls and the personnels and the formation. Although that heavy panther that they use, notice I call it heavy panther, that they use so much against Seattle, the one that they tried again on the goal line, that's a Carolina personnel, that's a Carolina formation 100%. So we wanted to set that up. We wanted to lay down that foundation. We know Cam played well on Sunday. He threw the ball better than he probably has thrown the ball in 4 years since that MVP season. What did you see, Germ, and what do you expect to see moving forward out of Cam Newton?
I'm gonna make this real simple for everybody because we're talking about the New England Patriots. So the easiest thing to do is to make it simple.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing New England has done is made things simple for Cam. New England is the best at doing what? We've said it over the years, at making things simple. So you make it simple for a guy who probably was in over his head. You make it simple, and these are the results that you get. You don't have to overwhelm him. You're treating Cam Newton is on the Tom Brady diet in 2001.
In a way, yes. In a way, in the 2020 version model.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Sure.
So just take the capsule, go back and look at what he's doing. It's just simplifying the offense and keeping things in front of you, not worrying about all the extracurricular things that most quarterbacks would have to worry about when they switch systems and things of that nature. This is sustainable. This is sustainable over 16 games.
That's what I wanted to hear. That's what I was. Go ahead, keep going. I'm listening.
If it's sustainable over 16 games, and why I'm saying it can be sustainable over 16 games, is because if we just keep things simple and just go back to what your opponents do well and what they don't do well, and you stick to what you do well and try to cover up what you can't do well, you're going to be in position to win a lot of games just naturally anyway. That's just it, bro. This is why Bill Belichick is is the greatest coach of all time. Simplify.
Yes.
Simplify. And in one way or another, he was going to get a decent season out of Cam.
For sure.
The difference is we're not going to go and run with this narrative of Cam being a better quarterback for the Patriots than Tom Brady. You can't say that because if it doesn't produce 6 Super Bowls, it's not possible.
It's not possible. And it's not even going to produce one.
But the thing is, Mo, whether it produces a playoff run or not, we've seen this time and time again. The playoffs are a different beast.
Yes.
When a team can match up with you, when a team can take a week and focus on you and all of the film that you've put on the field, all of your formations, 9 out of 10 times, are going to be in the 17 weeks of game film that they're going to have to study.
Yep.
Anything that you do well, they're going to know about it. They're going to have numbers on you, percentages. They're going to have all of these different things. There's a lot of things to play against. So let's just make sure that we're not jumping down and saying stupid things. We don't have to do all of that. We can like Cam Newton playing for New England, and we can like Tom Brady playing for the Saints. Playing for the Bucks, and we can like everybody other quarterback. We don't have to be extra like everybody else. We can do this the right way. So with that being said, I'm gonna make it that simple. If y'all want to have conversations and y'all want to be stupid, just know that Germ is not ready to entertain those things.
Yes, sir.
And the shirt says it all, baby.
Yes, sir.
Nah, I'm good.
Hey.
Nah, I'm good.
Germ, you couldn't have said that any better, because it truly is ridiculous for me to open the ESPN app to check on the baseball scores from yesterday, and the first thing that pops up is a segment on ESPN saying, is Cam Newton a better quarterback for the Patriots than Tom Brady? For the umpteenth time, cut that shit out, please. It is disrespectful, and more importantly, it is irresponsible to sportscasting everywhere. It is you saying, I ain't got nothing better to talk about. And if you got nothing better to talk about, then you need to go find a different profession, because we are in the prime beef time of sports. There is endless sports conversation that can be had. So once again, folks, ladies and gentlemen, protect yourself from narratives and make sure the scene has you covered. Are you in good hands? Vic Jr., glad to see you, my brother. You looking fabulous, looking like you just jumped out of the shower, feeling fresh. And I want your fresh take on this. What did you see from Cam, and what do you expect to see moving forward?
First of all,
throw you right into the fire.
First of all, yeah, I don't even know what I jumped into here, all right? But I got my Feel More of a Feeling shirt on today. Get your shirt. And the views from the 22 store. Bro, listen, I was impressed. It was to the point where I was overwhelmed and how impressive he looked. Okay, Sunday night. You know, there's still some things that he needs to fix. But if he can fix them, it's a good look. And right now, so far, Bill has made the right decision. The guy's velocity looks good. His accuracy seems to be a little bit better. So listen, hey, if they got something, with Cam right now for the next couple of years, man, give him the money. Just pay the guy, because again, we're not gonna go off for just 2 weeks. We're not gonna get too high off for 2 weeks, but I was impressed with some of the work that he was able to put in on Sunday. Obviously, you know, Russ was a little bit better.
Well, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. Cálmate, papi. Tranquilo. We're gonna get there.
Oh, y'all ain't gonna like me in a minute. Go ahead.
But the thing is like, as Jern talked about, as Vic talked about, the velocity is better. The fundamentals are better, although it's spotty at times, and there's times that he retreats back to old habits. And the one area of concern, if I had to nitpick, is that when they tried to go up tempo and spread and passing the ball against Seattle, that's when the interception happened. Right. So my whole thing is that when New England over the last 20 years, I don't know what the proper phrase is, chameleon, amoeba, whatever. Okay, the point is they could adapt to whatever they needed to do to win football games. Whatever the weakness of that defense was in that specific week was going to turn into the strength of that offense. That dynamic, that element is no longer there. So to me, while I think it's sustainable, like Germ said, while I think they could even get into the playoffs, like Vic even said, I am still uncertain as to how they'll match up with good teams. We've seen it over the years with plenty of teams in the past where guys, there's good talent, they even have good games, but they can't beat good teams. And I think New England might fall into that category. And I'm gonna just say this right now, no spoilers. They are in for a good matchup this Sunday. Shout out to the Tuck Rule. Moving on now, we're gonna move on to another quarterback. Hey, listen.
Oh,
Every
this is
chance I get,
I
boom,
like
boom, boom. Every chance I get.
I like it.
Shout out Mino. Shout out Charles Slim Hughes. Shout out April. We love all the Raiders fans. But I ain't gonna. You know me by now.
Oh man, I like this.
If you don't know me by now. All right, that's the first and last time you're gonna hear me sing, probably.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Let's stay in the game. Let's stay in that game. EA Sports in the game. Vic, we're gonna throw it right back to you because you want to talk about it. What did you see from Russ? I'm not gonna ask you if you were surprised because we know you've been on that hype train. So what did you see from Russ? And floor is yours.
I saw what I've been seeing since 2019 when I sat down this summer and I saw his film. I saw somebody that's almost close to perfect, Germ. As much as you don't want to accept that, I saw somebody that is about this close to perfection, bro. And I mean, the dude, there's nothing he's missing right now, Germ. I have not seen a weakness in his game, okay? There is no weaknesses in his game, whether he needs to be outside the pocket, whether he needs to be inside the pocket, whether he needs to go left and he needs to look right. Who punched you in the eyeball, bro? That right eye ain't looking too nice.
Hey, you know what happens? This is called I've been watching film all night. I'm here. Let's go.
I got you. I hear that. Respect. But, bro, I saw perfection from Russ. Pinpoint throws. The only one throw that I didn't like was, and it was a touchdown pass. It looked like he just threw it up and the receiver adjusted to it on that little back shoulder, whatever you call it. That was probably the only throw that you can say is interceptable. Okay, but other than that, the man's been perfect, on point, accuracy, velocity coming from that little frame that he has in and out of the pocket. I can continue with his scouting report, but I'm gonna let y'all talk about it.
Well, before Germ goes, first of all, Germ, when you took off your glasses and you was doing that, you looked like you was trying to collect some grit money. I'm gonna just keep it all the way real.
I was in my Umar mode.
I had to double take. Like, who is that? who is? What's going on here? Yep.
We have spent $19 million on Quaker grits.
Yo, I hope Worldwide Les is watching this one. I know I could just hear his laugh all the way from over here if he's watching. Oh my God, yo. As far as we got Grove Boy 29 just said I'm here for thoughts on Herbert. We get into that next. I know that's what the people came to hear. We come into that. As far as Russ, I think he played spectacular, and I think he is definitely on a mission to go get that MVP. What we saw from him last night and week 1, like Vic said, it began to be consistent in 2019, but you could see it coming and building from 2016 through 2018. Now with some formidable weapons, an offensive line that's somewhat respectable, a running game that you got to most certainly respect with the bruising power of Chris Carson and that little change of pace with Carlos Hyde, who's actually bigger than Chris Carson, believe it or not. It's Seattle, Russ, keep an eye on them. Germ, what you got?
First of all, I'm gonna hand these glasses to Vic because he said he seemed near perfect. But the first thing is Russ has gotten better. Okay, there's still certain little fundamental things that I think I need to see from Russ. It's just some of the timing things. Some he can get better with his timing throws. His timing throws, because if it has any type of rhythm to it, Russ just doesn't have rhythm. But we know that from his dancing with his wife. But the thing that I want to say is when it comes down to Russ altogether, I just think that with him having to be damn near perfect in order for them to win a game like that, that's not a good sign of the football team potentially going forward. Russ did have a damn near perfect game, and they damn near lost the game. That is not a good look, and that just speaks to a situation on hand of it's a lot of things that we need to go over with the Seattle team. The defense is going to be good. The run defense is going to be choppy. So he's going to have to maximize capitalize on every possession that he can, because he's gonna be in some dogfights this year.
Yeah. I think the one thing that I liked with how he's evolved is now you're seeing him under center doing 3-step drops, doing 5-step drops. He's not relying on play action. He doesn't have to be in the gun. He doesn't have to be scrambling out of the pocket. He can just stay in that safe space and do what he does, what he does. And it's getting better and better. I think what your concern is, he needs to get better at that. He needs to get better at 5-step out route, 5-step comeback, 3-step hitch, 3-step slant. Why? So that he can manage the game better from the passing attack. Because if there's a game late in the fourth quarter, and that might come up where your run game is just non-existent and you're up by 4 points and you got the ball back and it's on you to ice that clock, it's on you to put that Mariano Rivera hat on. We've seen it with Brady, we've seen it with Manning, we've seen it with Aaron, we've seen it with Drew, we've seen it with Ben. All these great quarterbacks over the last 20 years, when they got to close it with their right arm, they know how to close it. And now we need Russ to do that, and not necessarily with just these constant, like, chunk plays are good, but chunk plays are no good if you're constantly doing these 6-7 play drives and your defense got to come back on the field over and over and over and over. Because this ain't the Legion of Boom. As good as this defense is, this ain't the Legion of Boom where you can put them on the field for 70, 80 plays and they're only going to give up 13 points. That's just not going to happen. So I would say that's the next step for Russ, is the game management with the right arm. But I have no doubt he'll get there. We're going to move on now to the topic at hand. Why we here? Why I said I gotta talk about this. I heard Anthony Lynn's post-game interview on Sunday, and then I heard what he said yesterday in the Monday show for each NFL head coach. I'm gonna just give you a couple quotes paraphrasing what he said. I don't know if Vic has heard about this or not. If Vic is frozen. Victor, can you hear me?
I'm having some sort of issues here. It's like, can you hear me? It's like slowing down. It's like slowing down. So I don't know if you ask me a question. I'm like watching it on YouTube too at the same time.
Don't watch it on YouTube because we're 15 seconds ahead on YouTube.
No, I know. I'm trying to see if you're getting the delay and stuff like that.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I hear you. So, like, you asked me a question, or
I'm just asking you a yes or no question. Did you hear Anthony Lynn Sunday and Monday?
No, I did not hear his press conference. I know the only thing I know is that he still said Tyrod is the starter.
I wish that was all he said. Okay, stay tuned. So Anthony Lynn on Sunday, he was asked, what did you think of Justin Herbert? Oh, no, he was asked if they had a specific package, a specific game plan for Justin Herbert. He said, it's our offense, and he's our backup. What we put in for Tyrod, Justin can do, okay? And then he said that Tyrod will be the starter moving forward, but if he's not healthy, we feel comfortable. I trust Justin Herbert, and his teammates trust Justin Herbert, and he gave us a chance today. Okay, I got no beef with that. I got no beef with him rolling with the quarterback that he picked in camp to keep going. Just because he missed a game doesn't mean he have to lose his job. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it. Okay, you could disagree, you could agree. I disagree, obviously, but I understand it. Okay, Monday is where the shit hit the fan, as they say. YouTube, excuse me, that's 2 times I've cussed so far in the last 20 minutes. He said, first of all, he kept saying under the circumstances. Kept saying Justin played well under the circumstances. He did good things under the circumstances. He came in and played well under the circumstances. Okay, and then he said, he gave us a chance, and it was about what we expected, and we trust we can win with him. No problem with that. The reporter asked something else, and he said, at the same time, there's a lot you don't know. There's a lot we didn't get done. Justin is a backup for a reason. And he kept going and basically threw Justin Herbert under the bus to justify his decision of why he's sticking with Tyrod Taylor. Coach Lynn, we don't need all that. You the head coach. You the one getting paid. You make decisions. When you made the decision on Sunday, as much as people disagreed with you, we respected it. So why is it you coming here on Monday and you feeling a weak position in your stance and you trying to justify it, and your way to justify it is by throwing your rookie quarterback, your franchise quarterback, the future of this team under the bus? I'm gonna tell you this, Anthony Lynn. If Tom Telesco and I don't remember the owner's name right now, just Spanos, if they got to pick between who's here next Sunday, Anthony Lynn or Justin Herbert, I got bad news for you. That's just the reality of it. So the fact that you sit in there and you got this pretty talented team, and you justified a position that clearly you feel is weak by throwing somebody else under the bus. That's the only time any man, that's a display of weakness from any man, when you got to justify your stance by throwing somebody under the bus. You said what you said, you feel what you feel, stick to it. Why throw him under the bus? So now I'm curious, very curious as to how this is going to be moving forward, because if Tyrod keeps going forward and they can't get 300 passing yards through the air and they can't score over 20 points consistently, not only is the media going to be looking at you side-eyed, not only is Tom Telesco and Dean Spanos going to have their binoculars on extra focus, but those 52 men, those 53 men that you say, hey, entrust in me to go to war, they're not going to trust in you. And that's a big, big problem moving forward. So Anthony Lynn, to me, is officially on the hot seat, 1 foot out the door, whatever you want to say. And he better make sure they either start winning football games or Justin Herbert becomes a starter by October. Jerm, let's go to you, bro. And this one, let's go to you first. What's your thoughts?
First of all, I just want to start here. Herbert is a player who I think, number one, is better than.
Oh, see now, Jerm, what is going on?
Bro, I don't know what's happening. This Comcast, bro. I'm right under my router too.
Tyrod Taylor is not a good quarterback. What's wrong? Can you hear me?
Okay,
you hear me?
There you go. You're back. I don't know what's happening today.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I'm sitting here talking, and I'm sitting here talking and everything. So what's going on is, first of all, Justin Herbert to me is better than Tyrod Taylor. I don't think Tyrod Taylor is a very good quarterback. Mm-hmm. In Buffalo, Tyrod Taylor won games based on the fact that he scored 20 points and his defense held you under 20 points. He's not a guy who's going to consistently score a lot of points. He's not going to put a lot of touchdowns on the board. He's not a great guy when it comes down to trusting his eyes and what he sees from the defense. We seen that in the playoff game a couple of years ago.
Yes.
I mean, at the end of the day, for you to say that Tyrod Taylor is better than Justin Herbert, and we seen a rookie come out against, be the Chiefs, an NFL defense, and throw for over 300 yards in his first start, and he was just thrown into the start. That says a lot about that rookie and his character and his ability. Mm. And you didn't draft him number 6 overall, where you drafted him for him to sit this long. You actually drafted him for him to start. So if he beat out Tyrod Taylor, it's only because of COVID. If he didn't beat out Tyrod, it's only because of COVID.
Yeah, fair. That's very fair.
Real quick, before I start having some issues, who was the quarterback before Baker Mayfield started playing for his football team?
Tyrod Taylor.
So this is one of the situations where these coaches, especially these old school coaches, it goes to show you how much ego they carry. You know what I mean? Because if a rookie quarterback who you spent a lot of your reinforcements on, if he shows you that he's good enough, what should you do? These kids are coming into the NFL a lot more prepared than they were back in the day. They're coming with more pro-ready. There's more pro-ready offenses in the NFL. I mean, in college now, and so even though Herbert, I felt like should sit out a couple weeks, if he shows you right away that he can play, let him play. I do feel like Tyrod is a serviceable quarterback, but again, the kid shows some really, really impressive things. And it just goes to show you that a lot of these coaches can be very, very stubborn with a lot of their ways and things like that.
I mean, look, all I'm going to say is if you've been following us, if you watched our draft show, our pre-draft show, if you were involved in our mock draft, you know how we felt about Justin Herbert, especially Vic. You know how high Vic was on Justin Herbert. And in one career game that he figured out literally 5 minutes before kickoff, after the coin toss, he found out he was starting. He already has as many 300-yard passing games as Tyrod Taylor.
Stop playing around, bro.
I'm dead serious. Check it out. Tyrod Taylor, I think it was against Miami when he was with the Bills. He had one 300-yard career passing game in his career. And Justin Herbert in his NFL debut did that. And that's again, I'm the one who advocated for Tyrod starting. But now that he's in there and he played well, why take him out? That's your future.
Yeah.
That is your future. Yeah. And if your future is saying, hey, man, it's time to get it right now. And we know in the NFL, there's no, oh, well, we're building by year 3, year 4, we'll have a championship roster. It don't work that way. You got to go after it. You got to go get it. And we know one thing. Unless your name is Tom Brady or Peyton Manning, if you are not on a rookie deal, is the probability of you winning a Super Bowl is very, very, very unlikely. And we're going to leave it right there. And we're going to move on to the next topic because we got 2 other quarterbacks to discuss. We're going to move on to one of the more recent, highly prolific, highly scouted, highly anticipated guy coming out of college in recent memory, a guy that I refer to as GOAT Jr. Sadly, I don't think that's going to happen right now. It's not looking too good, at least. But we're going to talk about Carson Wentz and this Eagles team. Eagles fans, I'm going to keep reminding you every week. 2017, 2018, that was a long time ago, okay? That roster is no longer there. That culture is no longer the same. Carson Wentz is being put out to the wolves in these first 2 weeks of the season. The injuries, the inefficient play calling. Now, yes, he hasn't been playing well, but I'm going to tell you this. He's been impatient. He's seeing ghosts. He's rushing throws. He's having throws sail over his head because he feels like somebody's coming to hit him eventually, and he wants to get as much velocity on it as he can. I mean, Sunday was bad. Sunday he did not look good, and I am worried that mentally he may never recover from the hits that he's going to end up taking throughout this regular season, and that's a problem. That's scary. I'm gonna get to the narrative that's floating around later, maybe after the guys go, but that's where we're gonna set it up. Vic, we're gonna go back to you. What's your thoughts here on this whole Carson Wentz Eagles? What he's been going through, how he's been playing?
Yeah, I haven't really been able to see the film on him, and so I'm gonna trust what you have to say about that. My thing is I have an Eagle fan that is in one of the fantasy leagues that I'm in, and when the right guard that is
Brandon Brooks.
When Brandon Brooks went down, he said, "No, we'll be okay." Then when the left tackle went down, again escaping my memory, the name there. When he went down, he said, "No, we'll be okay. We still got Carson Wentz." I said, "Listen, bro. This is when we try to preach how much that beef is so important to successful football teams. This can't be a better example. Those guys were one of the best offensive lines in the last 4 or 5 years. That group was impressive, especially in their Super Bowl run. One of the best performances I've seen on film. Watching those guys, I just love watching when an offensive line is healthy and in rhythm. It's one of the most beautiful things to watch on film. And people don't understand how important that is. This is a perfect example of how important that offense, like the beef up front, is for a successful football team. And yes, I will be definitely looking in. Hopefully, I don't know, you guys said that the film is available right now
Yes,
in
it
terms of
is.
these guys getting their crap together.
Yes.
But I will be definitely looking to see how much that has been a factor and affecting him. Because again, if you don't got your guys blocking you up front that you're used to, you're gonna have, some fidgety footwork. You're gonna rush throws. You're gonna be inaccurate. So again, I still think Carson Wentz is one of the most impressive quarterbacks to come out the draft I've seen. But he's got to slow down, and he's just got to trust what he has in front of him if he could.
Indeed, if he could. That's a very, very important point. Trust if he could. Jeremy, what you got on this?
Carson, the good news is this. The good news is he can fix this.
Yes.
The bad news is the Eagles' way that they won the Super Bowl a couple of years ago is terribly outdated.
It ain't coming back.
You can't win a Super Bowl without having some type of linebackers to be able to tackle guys in the open field. You can't win a Super Bowl without having some guys in the secondary that can cover people. I mean, we almost seen even that year that almost imploded on them. Like
Sure.
You can't win Super Bowls the way that you won last year. This is why there's consistently teams that win Super Bowls in one way and then they never get back. Because the Super Bowl format is good running game, solid defense or opportunistic defense, and good quarterback play.
Yes.
If you get all three of those together, you're going to win a Super Bowl. That alone will get you to a Super Bowl most of the time. Look at the 49ers. Look at the Falcons. Look at those type of teams that lost. Even look at the Rams. Okay?
Yeah.
Look at Tom Brady and how he's won his Super Bowls. Look at Peyton Manning's last Super Bowl that he won. Peyton Manning's last Super Bowl, good quarterback play wasn't even what we can call that. We just call that the most dominating defense we've probably seen in recent memory.
Facts.
And we call that being able to run the ball in situations. And we call that just simply Cam not having his best day.
It's true.
That's what happened. So looking at Brady's Super Bowls, how he has reinvented each one. Okay? Each one he's won in a different way. We got the Super Bowl he won where he came back from behind, but he didn't have to do much against the greatest show on turf. When we have the next year in the shootout with Jake Delhomme. Well, a couple years ago, shootout with Jake Delhomme. Then we have the duel against Donovan McNabb in which the defense made some plays.
And they grounded and pounded with Corey Dillon.
Exactly. So that's three different ways they won the Super Bowl. Three different ways. Defense, quarterback, and then running
balance. Game. Yeah, but that was 2004 was the most balanced Patriots team probably ever.
Until we get to 14.
But 14, their run game was matchup based, not necessarily we can punch you in the mouth no matter who we play.
And I'll give you that part. I like matchup based run games.
Sure, hell yeah,
it works. It
hell
works.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
But with those things being said, he was able to win a Super Bowl that way that year by having a solid defense, opportunistic defense that played lights out from about week 8 on, once they gelled, and then he played his game against one of the best secondaries we've ever seen in football, came back from 10 down and won a Super Bowl. And then after that, we go to the other Super Bowl against the Rams and the other Super Bowls in general he's just been to. The man torched the Eagles. But to get back to Carson Wentz,
yes,
Carson Wentz needs either Doug Peterson has to go or we have to rebuild the roster.
Oh, yeah.
It's really simple because the offensive line and the trenches was how you built this roster. Those guys are getting old. Fletch is still Fletch. Lane is still Lane. Brandon Brooks was still Brandon Brooks before he got hurt. Jason Kelce was still Jason Kelce. But the key thing that we need to do right now is we need to focus on making sure that we protect Carson from himself. And himself right now means we need to run the football more. We need to go back to some fundamental things to get him back in tune with the game of football. It's really that simple. We don't have to make this hard. We can make things simple. And this is why Bill Belichick, again, is at a certain pedestal of coaching. Doug, simplify the game. It's that simple.
No, I agree with you totally. And just real quick point, Jason Kelce is still there, but and the guys from 94 Feet of Life can maybe talk about this a little more. But a good center guard combo, that's like a good backcourt. You know, it's like if a shooting guard goes down, that point guard suddenly, he don't have that guy that he can pass it to, that he can move the ball with. Or if the point guard goes down, the shooting guard doesn't have that guy that knows where he's going to be when on the courts. It's just certain things change when you take out such a dominant guard out of your offensive line. And for Wentz, like the guy said, everything is fixable. It's just about trust. It's about roster turnover. And it's to me, again, I don't like calling for people's jobs, but I do think Doug is probably a one-hit wonder. And it's time to restart that, because I'm not picking Doug over Wentz. And I sure as hell am not picking Jalen Hurts over Carson Wentz. No offense, Tanya Rogers. I know that's your cousin. We love you here at Views. But I am not benching Carson Wentz for Jalen Hurts. If for any other reason, then Hurts is going to end up hurt a lot playing with this offense this year. And so that narrative, just like we asking y'all to kill that dumb narrative about Cam Newton being a better quarterback for New England, kill this dumbass narrative that Carson Wentz needs to be benched. Watch the games. Don't watch the stats. Don't watch the fantasy rankings. Don't watch what you see on NFL Game Day or those highlights or any of that. Watch the damn game. Understand what's going on in the damn game. And if you think Carson Wentz needs to be benched for Jalen Hurts, go watch hockey. Last topic of discussion. We're going to try and get folks out of here. If you got any questions, please post them. This is going to be the last topic. And if there's no questions, we're going to end up getting out of here quick, fast, and in a hurry. Drew Brees. Can
I just go first?
Drew Brees. Germ, I ain't even going to ask nothing. I just said Drew Brees. Floor is yours,
Okay.
sir. I'm going to put myself on mute. You got it.
Number one, this is why I did not rank him as one of my top 5 quarterbacks. I have an issue with a dude who has a problem with interceptions in tight situations like that. This is not the first time I've seen him stare down a receiver on a curl, on any type of dig route in those situations, and have a linebacker sitting right there. They didn't mix up the coverage. They didn't do anything special. The linebacker took 4 steps back and sat there the entire time. He did not move, bro. He did not move. Emmanuel Sanders got 0 catches in a half of football, and he was open the whole damn game. I'm disgusted. How do you have a dude who's always open and you can't get him the ball? You mean to tell me you couldn't have put him in the X, put him at the X and used him like you would use Michael Thomas? He would have got open quicker because of his feet. Why do we call it football? Because your feet are the most important part of the game. He has better feet than every receiver on that receiving corps. The only dude on that team who got feet like him is Alvin Kamara. The only dude. You mean to tell me you couldn't get Emmanuel Sanders? Emmanuel 7'11" Sanders could not get involved in the Saints' game plan. Brady tried to trade for him years ago.
Twice.
Because he knew. Listen, Bill said, I get Brady a dude like this, we just going to move him everywhere, and they're going to have a problem. Drew Brees, this is all I'm going to say, and I'm going to pass it off so we can get off. Drew Brees is not an elite quarterback anymore. Intellectually, he can process the game, but guess what? The little engine can't no more. That's just what it is. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. His eyes obviously have always been the same. He doesn't do very well with anticipatory throws right now. I'm not liking any of the things that I'm seeing from him, period. I'm not even going to go any further. I'm not going to waste no more time on dude. He is no longer a top 5 quarterback. And these are the things these are a few of my favorite things. So if you want Drew Brees on your team and you think that he's the one who's going to get you to the promised land, just remember that Germ telling you right now that ain't going to happen. And if you want me to take Drew Brees on my team,
oh man, hey, boy, listen. You said that we said it on the thread. First of all, Emmanuel Sanders only ended up with one catch, and it came on the very last drive when they were driving with under a minute left and no timeouts, and it was garbage time. So Drew Brees is officially the first quarterback in NFL history to not produce with Emmanuel Sanders. We're going to put him in the record books on that. Vic, you got 4 minutes or less. Like who was that song? Avon. You only got 4 minutes. What you got to say?
Listen, I don't have much to say. I'm just going to defend you and I for a second there. First and foremost, we only went based off of last year. And we only, and it just goes to show you that the quarterback position is not the most deepest in terms of talent. We were toggling between Deshaun and Carson Wentz, and we decided to go with Drew Brees. But other than that, listen, everything that Jerm said is true. There has been situations where it just looks like the pressure does get to Drew. He does seem to be focusing on one side of the field when that happens. And I guess he was missing Michael Thomas. They lost a lot of rhythm when it came to that. So that's all I have to say about that, man. Jermaine, he ain't lying. Drew, it may be time to move on from Drew Brees and maybe time for him to move on from playing.
We know that he contemplated retirement last offseason. Okay.
In which they apparently inquired about Tom Brady.
They more than inquired. I don't know if you knew this. I don't know if anybody at home knows this. Sean Payton and Tom Brady have the same agent. So they more than inquired, my man. They more than inquired. If it wasn't for COVID, they'd have had a cup of coffee and a sandwich together. I promise you that.
Wow.
But do y'all think he's on his way downhill, retire? Yeah, absolutely, Jorge. Shout out Kids Reaction. Make sure you subscribe to that. Absolutely. I mean, he's clearly what we've seen over the last few years.
It's been a couple years.
As the season gets deeper, the velocity isn't as much. The corner routes don't get there the way they're supposed to get there. And we just, look, it is what it is. It is what it is. He's great. He's a Hall of Famer, all that. It just is what it is. And this might very well be the last year for Drew Brees in New Orleans. This show went a little longer than we expected it to, but we had about 6 quarterbacks to talk about, and we wanted to keep it real light, real casual. We hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe. Yeah, absolutely. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, THESCEN, The Scene. Join our Facebook groups. Make sure your notifications are on when you subscribe to our page, because you never know when we're going to drop something. But I'm going to tell you this, we will be back live in 2 hours with the Soccer Crew, Stoppage Time FC, catching you up on everything you need to know about the English Premier League. So this was football. We're coming back at you later with some football. Views from the 22, Mo Schefter, Vic Jr., Jerm had to go. We'll catch y'all later.